I'm actually interviewing today Aurelio Mattucci. He's a successful real estate broker in Torrance. The reason why I started the show is because I want to inspire people in getting in business and actually becoming more sound with how businesses work, what is the plan, the marketing plan that it takes to develop. That's why I'm interviewing Aurelio today, and we're going to hear a little bit about his story.
Great, thank you. Thanks for having me, Omar. I really appreciate it. So about 11 years ago, I decided to get into real estate, and that was actually probably one of the best turning points in my life. I wasn't always inspired to be in real estate, but my father, being a real estate investor himself, he just told me one day, you know what, stop doing what I've been doing all my life, which is tailoring. I actually started by opening up my own tailor shop. That was, I guess my willingness to follow into my dad's footsteps. But sometimes, industries change, things change, personal situations change. So
dreams change too.
Dreams do change, and I think anybody that has a little bit of ambition or that entrepreneur in them, they're going to basically not just have a plan A and a plan B. We're just going to have a lot of variations of plan A. And in my personal case, I decided to get into real estate just because I thought that was actually a pretty cool thing to do. And of course, at the time, I didn't have a family or wife to take care of, so it made the transition a lot easier. And it's just a lot of work, just like anything else.
And what was the time that you actually put into real estate when you first began doing real estate?
Real estate to me, it's not a job, or it doesn't really have a job description. It's more of a lifestyle. I think when people get into real estate, they think they can just clock in and clock out. It doesn't work that way. You pretty much live real estate. You go to a party, you got your cards in your pocket, you're handing out cards, you're talking business all the time. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah, that's true. Because when I was growing up, my mom was in real estate too.
That's right. Your mom was in real estate.
Yeah, she's in real estate too. So the same lifestyle. It's just you're constantly living that lifestyle of being in real estate, and it's a lot of work and commitment that goes into it too.
It really is.
And you have to love what you do.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. I'm fortunate enough that I do love what I do, and but besides the real estate,
what drives you?
What drives me? My car.
No, but what drives you as a person?
What drives me is, I guess, the public perception. It's always like, I don't know, especially the last few years. Yeah. When you're in real estate, you get that public perception that if you're in real estate, you're no different than a used car salesman. And what drives me is that public perception. Like people say, well, you shouldn't care what people think. You shouldn't care what people do. Well, I do. I'm a very caring person, and I guess what the community thinks of me and my company matters. So I always strive to give the best customer service. I always try to stay honest with your dealings, and I tell my agents all the time, treat other people's money as if it's your own money.
It's true. That's true.
And it really.
And I'm gonna ask you, because you have a lot of realtors out there that are struggling, and I think that's part of the reason why they don't have a lot of success, because they don't treat it as their own money, and that's part of the reason why they don't have success. What do you think?
Well, what happens? You got agents that are just going in for the kill. They're just looking for the commission, and I'm not saying don't worry about the money, this and that. You have to worry about the money, because we do. Mm-hmm. We worry about paying our bills, our mortgage, rent, whatever, car payments.
And after all, you're living on commission too. So.
We live on strictly commission. For those of us that do real estate full time, you're a commission only type of situation. So yeah, you're going to worry about money. I think the amount of work, the amount of effort you put into it may sometimes or sometimes not determine how successful you're going to be in real estate. I think what makes a person successful in real estate is working smart. You have to work smart.
Yeah.
Working 24/7. Being on the phone all day long. It may not actually give you the results that you're looking for. Obviously, concentrate on learning from people that are successful. That's the best advice I can give anybody. Is the advice that was given to me is look at what the successful ones are doing, and learn from them.
That's true.
Because if you're going to get advice from somebody that failed in real estate, or somebody that all they do is preach but they don't practice, then obviously they don't have a proven model.
Yeah. And how long have you been in business?
In business as Mattucci Real Estate since 2006, April 2006.
Okay, 2006. So
but I've actually been in the real estate industry since 2003.
Okay, so you've been quite a long time, but for 9 years, Mattucci Real Estate.
Yeah.
And
9 years already.
Yeah, 9 years. It goes by almost a decade. And you're still here.
I'm still here.
You're still here today, which shows that there is opportunity in real estate.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
If you know what you're doing.
Well, I think where people quit, because there's a lot of people that quit real estate is because they can't handle the roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
You have this roller coaster ride, whether it's financial, emotional, all of the above. And if you're not willing to take that ride, I suggest don't even get into a commission-only type of business.
Yeah, and I've noticed that with commission-only positions, it comes down to where people make, let's say you get a $10,000 check. Some people live below their means, and this say live below your means always, but some people don't live below their means. They go out there, they get $10,000, and they say, hey, I want to buy that $5,000 watch. I want to go buy a car if they get a bigger check. And that's part of the problem why the success doesn't happen, because they don't save for the rainy day, as they say, right?
Well, you have to treat every check that comes in. You have to treat it as if it's your last one.
Of course.
And I've made those mistakes several times in my career, because sometimes you get checks that are extremely huge, okay, compared to maybe just a regular working class. Some of these checks could be in the tens of thousands.
Of course. Yeah.
And sometimes even over $100,000 in one deal. Now, of course, it could take you 3 years to put that deal together.
Of course, but it's a lot of work to develop.
It is a lot of work, but it's kind of like human nature. You have a bag of candy. The human nature is that you're going to finish that bag of candy in one sitting, right?
That's true.
Because it's good, But my point is, I've made those mistakes. I sometimes catch myself saying, okay, now I got a chunk of money, I'm going to do this, and this. And it's not necessarily spend money, it's maybe pay off credit cards that I'm sick and tired of paying interest on. And we make those mistakes because we have this chunk of money, we want to get rid of debt, or we want to buy the next big screen TV.
Of course.
And so we get into trouble because you just run out real quick.
Okay.
So my advice to those that do work this industry is that,
or commission-based
industry, just don't pay off your credit card just because you got a big check, because you need to have that cash on hand.
Always do a little bit more than the minimum payment to
absolutely. You want to pay it off, or whatever else, but don't buy big fancy cars because the fancy real estate agent up in a fancy part of town drives the brand new Mercedes, so you're trying to mimic what they're doing. What they're doing is they built a business before they bought the Mercedes or the BMW.
They had structure.
So you can get to that point, but don't start with the fancy car.
Yeah.
Just because.
Don't fly before you can't even.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't even have the wings that you're trying to fly.
Yeah, exactly.
So what were some of the? So you were telling me, or you mentioned earlier when we were talking about that your family came from Italy. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we moved from Italy. We moved from Italy several times. We actually went back and forth. My mom's the only child, and she had a really difficult time being here in the States. I'm glad that eventually, with trial and error and going back and forth, she finally decided, you know what, this is where the future is for my family. So we ended up staying here. I guess we permanently moved here when I was 14 years old.
And what was the main reason why your family came to the United States?
The American dream, like many other families.
Yeah, just like my family too came here for the American dream too.
The American dream, and I gotta say we're living the American dream. It comes at a cost.
Of course. Every day there's a cost of the American dream.
Yeah, there's a cost of the American dream, but you need to try to balance work and pleasure. And of course, pleasure for me is spending time with my family. And sometimes we get caught up in the whole rat race.
Yeah, that's true. I think every American gets caught up in the rat race.
So. Yeah. So you gotta be able to kind of disconnect pull the plug once in a while and just spend time with your loved ones and quality time. I'm not talking about being home on the
It's
computer.
being home. Yeah, it's going out somewhere and doing something.
Going out somewhere.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the American. I think as an American society, we get so caught up in work, and we're always constantly doing something that we don't focus on our personal life and bettering ourselves. Like our health. Americans have very poor health.
Absolutely.
And it shows it. Like we have really bad health.
I think you and I share the same.
Yeah, of course. All these
same
fast
thing.
food places around. That's why I'm learning how to cook these. There's so many obesity problems here in the United States. So I'm constantly working on that myself. With having to be active more.
But
Technology.
It's so easy to get fall behind.
Of course. So what are 3 things that you would give advice to people that want to get in commission-based business, like commission-based business, like real estate or car sales or any commission-based? Because there's online businesses that are commission-based, like people do marketing online that are commission-based, like with ClickBank. So these are people that are constantly on commission and they're just trying to market themselves and get their message out there. What are the 3 things that you would give?
All right. Obviously, there's a lot of things that I would tell people wanting to get into any industry like that. If I had to, I guess, classify it as the top 3, I would say the number 1 thing is learn everything you can about that industry that you're trying to get into. Of course, do your research. Don't just go into an industry just because your neighbor does really well at it. That happens a lot, especially in 2004, 2005, when real estate was one of those things where if you were in it, man, you were making a lot of money. So everybody wanted to get into it. But then when things started getting not tough, when things started getting normal, then people realized, oh my gosh, I got to actually work to make some money.
Yeah, my mom actually was one of those people that jumped in. She's actually really interested in real estate, but she happened to be in real estate.
She's also a hard worker.
Yeah, at the right time. And but the good thing about her is that she, right when it was the last year before the market started tanking and started getting normal again for realtors. Yeah. So she started seeing a big difference, and for her it was like the market started slowing down. But she was so lucky that she did such a good job for people that people were
able to stay in it.
Working with her constantly, referring her.
There's never, I don't think, a good or bad time to get into real estate. I personally think that whenever you're in an industry that has built more wealth than any other way of building wealth, real estate has built more wealth in the world than any other type of business or investment. So when you look at it from that perspective, it is great to get into real estate, but you have to have a plan. Research, that's number 1.
Okay.
Research your industry and make sure that whatever you get into, you know what the heck you're getting into.
Of course, yeah.
2 is have enough reserves. And the reason I say that is because people think that they're going to jump into an industry and automatically start making money. It doesn't work that way.
So that's what we were talking about earlier, about knowing your limits too.
Well, knowing your limits, but I'd say if I had to put a dollar figure on it, I would say 6 months. 6 months reserves. Have at least, at the bare minimum, 6 months worth of living expenses. So, for instance, if your living expenses are $3,000 a month, including rent, food, car payment, whatever, insurances. I wish there were $3,000 a month, but probably more.
Yeah.
But let's say that they were $3,000. I would say at least have $18,000 in a bank or savings account or in a mattress, whatever. And third, I would say don't get caught up buying every darn program that's out there, because especially in real estate, everybody's trying to sell you coaching and lead generation, this and that.
I'm glad you talked about that, because this is the perfect conversation actually we're having now, because this ties into what a lot of my audience is. A lot of my audience is actually looking at, they're online and they get misled about saying, we're the best marketing company, this is what we do, and a lot of their generation of what they do is not real. It's made out of, it's bogus, because online there's a different way of marketing. Like you could go online and buy Facebook likes, but they're not real. That means that they're just air. That means that you don't have actually people looking at your stuff. It's not active.
It won't translate.
You're selling a lie, and it's not going to go anywhere. So when you want actual results, you actually have to put in work. You have to sometimes put money to play, as they say.
Yeah, pay to play.
Pay to play. And all budgets are different, and you can always accommodate a marketing budget to what your budget is. So it's a lot different. But a lot of businesses online that are, you got at the MLM, which I believe a lot of it is a marketing scam for a lot of people out there. A lot of people are sold this hope that they're going to be rich, they're going to be successful, just like, you have the Donald Trump, infomercials, all these, people trying to sell you this dream of being a millionaire. But in reality, when you want to reach to those goals, you have to start at the bottom and work your way to the top. You have to constantly work at something, because you're never going to get there unless you put in work.
Well, in real estate,
that's the thing. That
real estate, once you get your license, you're going to get bombarded by seminars, and
of course,
and you get those training videos or training meetings, and you got just all the lead generation. $100 per lead.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, now what? And so now you're spending all this money with absolutely zero results, and if you do get results, you'll be lucky if you even pay for everything you've invested into it. The number one thing that you can invest in when you first get into real estate is business cards.
Yeah.
You know how many people get into real estate and they're like, oh yeah, I ordered them, they're not in yet. That's the first thing you do. The first thing you do. You cannot go anywhere without business cards.
And my thing, actually you're right. These business cards in any business is vital.
Business cards, I carry them with me all the time.
I was talking to, and I have them right here too. Yeah, they're right over here. So, my wife actually, when she got in business, and she has a ballet business called Torrance Ballet Academy, and she didn't have business cards. And I told her, I was like, well, what should I do? What can I do to promote myself? I was like, well, the first thing of all, the most important thing, like you said, is to get business cards. Because how are you supposed to promote yourself and get your name out there if you don't have a business card? And I gave that.
It's one of the cheapest ways to promote
There's
yourself.
so many websites out there and so many businesses out there that offer.
But it really does boil down to this.
Yeah.
You can order 1,000 business cards, but if they sit in your drawer, it's not going to do you any good. You gotta have it on you all the time. Everywhere you go, there.
Here's my business card. Thank you. There has to be some form of an exchange between you and another person. I actually ordered some new ones because they're more colorful. The ones I ordered with my logos for my Facebook.
It's got all the information you need. So.
Yeah. So part of this whole thing too was, I wanted to be different than any other company, because when I started on social marketing, on social marketing, actually, if you think about it, people think, well, what is on? Why did you call it on? Because I named it after myself. Because my last name is, my name is Omar Navarro. So O-N, my initials, on. But when people think about it,
I didn't actually know that until about a couple of days ago.
Yeah, you realize, like, wait.
On, I go, okay, like the light switch on, but hey, that's your initials.
My intention, though, was to do the light switch, but in itself, it covers up for my initials. And a lot of people, when they say it, I was like, oh, that's clever. That's a clever idea, And I thought it was a great idea because, I'll never forget about it because it's my name. It's on, like you say, it's on, turning on the lights. But in itself, when you have a business model and you want to be successful, business cards are really important. They're one of the most important things that you can have, and it's one of the most cheapest ways of marketing. Aurelio, I told I could talk about it. He's actually also the president of a business network that is growing. It's growing huge amount of people. I think thousands of people are growing in his emails list within the community. I'm not sure what his goal is, if he wants to take it worldwide, but it's a great business network. Well,
I do like this one step at a time approach. The brick by brick.
So what is the name of the?
Well, it's called a Unified Small Business Alliance, and we refer to it as the USBA.
And what is your model of the USBA? What is the goal of the USBA?
Well, the goal of the USBA is to ensure that we're going to restore, create, or maintain a business-friendly environment. Now, that encumbers, City Hall, making sure that they're business-friendly, making sure state and federal government. There's also state business friends.
Of course.
I do. If you look at the statistics, when you have close to 99% of the businesses out there are considered small businesses. Now, small business, of course, based on the Small Business Administration, SBA, that's typically, I believe it's like around 500 employees or less, or a certain amount of revenue, depending on industry. But what the USBA, my USBA, concentrates on is the mom and pops. Okay, the ones that are, maybe 5 employees or 10 employees. They're the ones that are actually, the vast majority of the business that you see around you aren't that size.
Yeah, they're small businesses.
Yeah, they're all small businesses. So our organization just gives them a free, when I say free, it means that there's no membership dues. We don't charge them to come to the meetings. And
wait a second. There are organizations out there like the Chamber of Commerce that charge fees. Like for me, when I was first joining the Chamber of Commerce, it was $300 to join as a student. I'm not sure what is the regular membership for the Chamber of Commerce.
I guess it depends on what.
But you're saying that the USBA is free.
It's free. It may not be a good business model for me, but we do have sponsorship opportunities. That's how we end up paying for stuff, is that we have sponsors, such as we have a thing called the roundtable meeting. The roundtable meetings, every area that we designate has one meeting a month. And that one meeting a month, it costs $150 to sponsor, and with that $150 we give them, we buy the food.
Of course.
We typically get between 50 and 70 guests, local business owners.
Which, if you're thinking about it, he's saying 60 to 70 people attending these events. So if you're getting 60 to 70 people showing up, and it's free to attend, to network with all these people, you can actually show up with your business cards, which are very affordable, and this is a free event that you can go to have a business opportunity, to network with many people.
Yeah, you get to network, you get to... the way we structure it is you get these sponsors, $150, which, by the way, we've been... they're lined up.
Right.
We have months out that we're lined up because people want to.
So what do people have to do to become a sponsor? If you were going to get people to become a sponsor for the Unified Small Business Alliance.
Okay, so basically the way it works is that we charge you $150 for that meeting. We buy food. Like more like snacks and water and stuff like that for the meeting. We also give you some online promoting, so through social media, Facebook, also LinkedIn, Twitter. We mention your company and your contact information as a sponsor of the roundtable for that particular date or that particular area.
Wow.
And then on top of that, we do the e-blast, which goes up to 1,500 plus members. That one.
For what you're offering right now, $150 for all of that sounds like a bargain. To actually send information out. Let's say you're doing like a Twitter advertising, Facebook advertising, you're doing email blasts. Sometimes it costs a lot more than $150 to even get a message across. People spend thousands of dollars on advertising to millions. So it's actually quite affordable, $150.
Look, we're not making money off of it.
Yeah, of course.
By the time we buy the food.
But you're there for the community and helping business.
Our main goal is to help small businesses be successful. And of course, we have invested interest because we as an organization, we may not be making money per se, like, through memberships and everything else, but we are creating a pretty huge network of people working with each other. And I'm actually personally getting business off the members too, with my personal business of real estate. So for me, it's a great opportunity to sell my services to the members, and vice versa. I personally only use USBA members because I feel if they're giving me the ability to network with them, they like I have, for instance, insurance agents. I have restaurants. Basically, I reciprocate through the USBA membership.
And that's what I've noticed with the USBA, because I've been happy actually to go to some of the events for the USBA. I've been a big supporter of the USBA.
Yeah, since day one, actually.
Since day one.
Since we started,
I would like to say that I helped out a bit.
No, actually, no. I could consider you one of the founding fathers of the USBA.
Thank you. So, I think when you first started the idea of the Unified Small Business Alliance, I thought it was a great idea. I thought that, as a young entrepreneur, I thought that we can inspire other young entrepreneurs out there to actually get in business, because we need people that are going to go into business to create jobs, because there's going to be a future. There has to be a future in this country. So one of the reasons why I created my business was because I wanted to create an opportunity to promote business owners and also grow businesses.
Absolutely.
So they become successful. Because if they have success, then their success mirrors with my success.
Yeah.
So I want to see everybody become successful that I work with, because if they become successful, then I become successful myself. So I think this is a good business model that we're the Unified Small Business Alliance. I think that it's a great business model for businesses, especially if you're in locally. I would highly suggest anybody that lives in the South Bay area, in part of California, even if you live in California, to even stop by one of the events, because you'd be surprised at how great the events are and how the people are. It's very friendly. It's fun.
Actually, I think
it's great networking.
I think I'd like to mention, if I may, that we are looking for venues elsewhere. So let's say that you live, let's say that you live in Sacramento and you want to organize your own USBA networking roundtable event. Just find us a venue that can sit at least 50 people in a semicircle. The reason the roundtable thing is successful in my eyes is the fact the way we put the seating in a semicircle fashion, everybody gets to look at each other. So you're not sitting behind somebody or in front of somebody, you're sitting side by side. So we're all as equals. And once we get into that room, I don't care how big your company or how small your company, how much money you have in the bank, we're all as one. We're all there as USBA members. We get to share our experiences. We get to share our business cards.
And your ideas too for your business, of course.
And also the connections that we're making, both on city level and state level. These are the relationships that we're weaving together. That's going to make it a lot easier for businesses to actually stay in business and grow. Because we don't want people just to survive. We want people to thrive. We want people to be successful, like you said, so they can go out and actually hire people and turn this economy around.
And part of having a business like yours, I'm pretty sure when you started, you built relationships over time and you were involved in the community. Because part of having a business, especially for those of you that are online and that have a business online, not everything revolves around just Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or advertising online. But sometimes you just have to get up and show up to these events.
Yeah, you gotta show your face. The face-to-face is always the best.
Of course.
I mean, when people actually meet you in person, they can pretty much determine right then and there whether they think they're going to be working with you or not. I wasn't always like that. I think about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I decided to actually go out and start meeting people face-to-face. So I would actually walk in from business to business. And over the last 4 years, I've visited over 3,700 businesses in person.
Okay.
So I collected a lot of business cards, but I didn't do anything with it. So the follow-up is what I was lacking. So a few months ago, when you were involved, I actually started putting together that database.
The follow-up is actually a very important part, because I heard this. There was these numbers that I heard that a lot of people that are in business get these business cards and they just don't follow up.
They don't do
anything. So I like that you were just mentioning the follow-up.
Yeah, the follow-up is a key element. Of course, it takes time to follow up. Whether you do it through email, through a phone call. A lot of people want to sell you their services also. Pick and choose the follow-up. If you have, for instance, you have 300 business cards to call back, pick and choose the ones that you think you're going to want to do business with. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily who you're going to be selling business to, but you may want to do business with them, period. Mm-hmm. And of course, if you have, let's say for instance, you give me business, which you do. Mm-hmm. Why would I give my business to anybody else but you?
Of course.
You have to reciprocate. So And if you start going through your database and you start seeing, well, this person never gave me any business. This person I've known for many years. I've given a whole bunch of business. They never reciprocated. Start asking for the business. And if you don't get it back, go to those people, those individuals that will give you the business to reciprocate.
And a lot of times that's building relationships. When you're in an industry, and there's so many industries out there, but if you're going to go in an industry, you have to build relationships with people. And like Aurelio was saying, you have to build those relationships. And if you don't build them, just keep moving forward and building relationships with as many people as possible. Because you have to find people that are going to be loyal.
It is a numbers game.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it, the more people you know, the better chance you have of building a strong business base. Referrals are great, right? When you say, well, you know, my business is based on referrals. Well, you need to backtrack a little bit and see, okay, the person that's referring you, where did you get that person from? Mm-hmm. Well, maybe it was another referral or referral after that, but it all boils down to knowing somebody at first, right?
Yeah.
So you might be giving me referrals, but how did I meet you?
Of course.
Okay, you have to backtrack a little bit. And actually, when it really boils down to, no matter what business you're in, networking, getting to know people, getting to know as many people as you can, that's really what's going to make you successful.
And there's no stopping to how many people you know. You can talk to everybody. You know, when you go to a grocery store, a lot of people see it as, I'm just going to go there to pick up some groceries. But a grocery store is also a business opportunity.
Absolutely.
Everything is a business opportunity.
And it's the fact that you need cards on you at all times, right?
Of course. You know, I've noticed this. I always notice the good realtors always have their name tags on there, and it says realtor from so-and-so company. And they are really nice, and they look happy, and they go in there talking to everybody, talking about the store, finding out information. You know, that's amazing what they do.
You can't be shy.
You cannot be shy, of course. That's the thing. And for those people that are shy, what are some of the advice that you can give them?
There's organizations like Toastmasters.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Toastmasters. I forget how much it costs. It's not much. Probably like $100 a year.
Yes, it's about $100.
Okay. Toastmasters. I did Toastmasters, and you wouldn't know it, right?
I don't think you need it.
Toastmasters, basically what they do is, it's kind of like a group of friends that kind of critique each other.
Yeah.
And have you done Toastmasters yourself?
You know, I've seen Toastmasters.
Okay.
You go after, you have a minute to talk about an issue.
Basically,
and then you go around.
You get up and you talk.
Yeah.
And of course, I was so scared to get up and talk the first time I did it. This is about 7 or 8 years ago. And I get up and I'm sweating and I'm nervous, and you see everybody just writing these little notes. I go, well, what are they writing? Did I say something wrong? You know? And basically at the end they just go around and say, well, you said 45 ums and 62 ahs and 10 you knows, which I know I do that.
A lot of people say, you know.
Oh, you know.
And these are all things that that's actually necessary sometimes when you're speaking publicly to take it out of your vocabulary.
Yeah, you need to take it out. Well, you just have to. What they do in Toastmasters, which I'm a big fan of them, is that they actually teach you how to speak in public. And for those shy people, a lot of times you're shy because you're not confident. And if you're not confident, of course you're just going to throw yourself in a little corner, not talk to anybody, and that happens a lot. Yeah. And that happens actually at our round tables. Now the good thing about the round tables is I force everybody to get up, and I force them to hand out business cards to the group.
And that's actually a great idea, because I've noticed that people are nervous when they're standing up. I've seen some people jitter their hands and drop business cards on the floor, and they get nervous.
But it's okay, but you get to know the people.
It's an experience. It's an experience, and that experience is amazing. So I'm actually we're getting close to the end of the conclusion. So what is the website that people can go to visit the Unified Small Business Alliance website? What is the website that you can visit?
It's USBA.
Okay.
.club.
Okay.
Club.
.club.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so you can go to USBA.club. Actually, the link is going to be below there. If you live locally and you want to get involved, I'm going to have it below on the link, and I'm going to offer it on there. And what's your business website for Mattucci Real Estate?
Just Mattucci.com, and it's spelled MATTUCCI.com.
Okay.
I hope you put that on the screen.
That's going to be below also, and I'll see if I can add it on the screen, which I will probably add it on the screen for you. I want to thank Aurelio today for speaking with me and actually being on a part of the Omar Navarro show, the first show.
Yeah, that's great. It's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun, and I love talking to you today, and I was happy to have you actually. So it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for having me, and to the next Omar Navarro show.